Hello and welcome to part 1 of the Revell Level 5 Platinum Edition Hermann Marwede. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's a search and rescue vessel, and that's what we're going to call it, because I'm pretty sure I've probably not pronounced that correctly. This is a big box, as you can see. This is a 1/72 scale. It has almost 1,000 parts, probably over that, so I don't know if that includes all the photo etch that's included in this. It's 64 centimeters long and 30 centimeters high, so it's a decent size. Now, this was first brought out by Revell in 2005, and then it was updated with new parts in 2011, and then this edition came out just late last year, 2021. And I've had this on order, and I think I received this just before Christmas, and now we're into beginning of March 2022. So the first thing I want to do is welcome anybody here who's watching this. If this is your first time on the channel, please subscribe and hit that notifications bell when you subscribe, so you get notified of each time I release a video. At the end of the video, give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and comments are always welcome. Always welcome comments. This is going to be part 1 of this build. I would recommend that you go back to the playlist and watch the unboxing and review as I go through all the details of what this kit includes, and we go look at all the sprues, we go through the instructions and have a good look through all of that. But for now, I think it's time to get this box open and make a start on this. Okay. Now, I might just read a little bit of what it says on the side of this box to give you an idea of what this boat is all about. And there's one thing I might mention. Not sure what the difference is between a ship, a vessel, and a boat. Guessing it's the size. They call this a rescue vessel on the box. But anyway, so this rescue vessel is the largest search and rescue vessel ever put into service in Germany. It is one of around 60 units of the German Society for Rescue of Shipwrecked People. It's on the North Sea and Baltic Seas. It was founded more than 150 years ago and has been financed exclusively through donations all this time. And from what I also read somewhere else is that this and the other ships in the fleet have made up to, I think it's something like 80,000 rescues over that time, 80,000 lives. So, remarkable. All right, time to open up the box and see what we're getting ourselves into here. Let me just get this off. Sorry about that. Glare on there, can't be avoided. All right. So, in this box, what have we got? First we got the instructions, and we have a little safety card, safety advice on the side. And as you can see, this hull is in one piece, so that will make things a little bit easier. We've got some clear parts here. We have a lot more clear parts here. This also has the little motorboat that runs up onto the back of this ship. So there's a little runabout that, there it is there actually on the back, which you build up separately, and that's probably what these separate little photo etch parts are here. Okay, so I'll move that out of the way as well. think we'll have a look at the hull first, eh? Just get this out. Right, so there it is there. It's nice. Nice and straight. No holes where there shouldn't be. They should be there, that's okay. Yeah, so very good. Very good. And under here, that's going to lift out. Oh, I see it goes all the way over there. All right, with that, take the whole piece out there. So we've got a few bags of sprue parts here. This is pretty big. There's a plastic bag in the bottom here. It's got a bit of weight to it. So that's our photo etch in there. There's some twine for the rigging. We've got the Platinum Edition instructions. There's also brass parts in here for the mast and other parts on the deck. And there's our decals in there. So put that aside. Let me get this box out of the way and we'll take a closer look. Back in a sec. Okay, that's a bit better. So here's our instruction manual. Now, because this is the Platinum Edition, including all the photo etch, we need to check our other instruction manual, because we need to build it alongside with this because of the extra detail of the photo etch. So take that out. Lots of stuff. And like I said, definitely worth going back to the playlist and looking at the box opening and review I did of this. And you'll see I went through all the brass parts here, photo etch and other bits. Put all this back. You don't need these yet. All right. Oh, here we go. Now, Revell have these on nice big, bright coloured laminated sheets. And we've got our photo etch sprues, which we've got one, two, three of them. Then we've got all of our brass pieces here. There's actually a fourth photo etch sprue there. And if we go to page 1, page 2. So basically what I do here is really study these and look at, compare them to the build order that Revell have in their instructions so that you don't miss anything. Because there's a lot of photo etch for this. Now, fortunately the box is quite big. I'll be able to keep the sprues, which are absolutely huge. To give you an idea, there's one sprue there. Actually, there's two in that bag. There's my hand. Massive. So what I do with my builds is I try to keep them in the bags because I don't want anything. They usually have some, like there's some very small parts on this big sprue here that can break quite easily. You don't want to be damaging them or even handling them more than you need to. What I'll also do is I'll probably get a black marker and I'll outline on here the sprue number or letter. And in this case, I really can't even see that. The other side, is it? What sprue number have we got here? Not sure. But what I'd do is I'll just get a marker and write on there so I can actually see without having to go through the piles of plastic to find them, the one I'm looking for, get the pieces off. Okay. And there's quite a few. There's another big bag down here with another 1, 2, 3 in that bag. Lots of plastic. Looks like a deck there. Again, a mixture of big pieces and small pieces on the same sprue. We've got these ones here. Some more pieces. Hey, look at these. So here's the little smaller boat here. You can see there's some tiny little pieces on there. Fortunately, they look all like they're okay, so that'll be good. They're probably all the pieces just for that boat too, so keep them together. Okay. So what I'll also do is I mark these, so I usually keep myself a red pen, and when I finish one step, I'll tick that. Also referencing this might be a piece that needs to go on a certain part in one of the steps on the build from the instructions. So sometimes it's a good idea to reference in a separate number that this piece will be done during the build of, say, step 6 or step 7. All basically so you don't get caught out and missing something. Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot of photo etch. So page 3 here, going over to page 4. Even got all the surrounds all the way around here, all the windows, all in photo etch. Lots of work on the mask, lots of bits to be removed on the mask there. There's some of all our brass pieces going together. There's all there. It's good that they give you the drawing of the parts and showing you all the pieces, then they give you a picture of what it's going to look like when it's done. And all these numbers, 44, 41, 17, refer back to those steps so that you know that that part was from part 41. And you go to 41 and there it is there. So very clear, easy to understand. And then at the end, you see the completed pictures of the ship with the photo etch on it. Okay. But again, I went through all of this in the unboxing and review. All right. Let me just get organized here. Sort out my sprues. I'm going to get them all labeled and written up so that I know where everything is and I can see down at the box where I've got to pick my pieces from. And we'll see what we need to do from step 1. All right, back shortly. Okay, we're back. So I've got all the photo etch put in a separate container here, and all the bags are labeled PE01 up to PE03. The little bag with clear parts I've just labeled as, put J on there because that was J. The decals are under there, and the brass parts, I think. Yes, all the brass pieces are down in there as well. I'll keep all that safe aside. The actual sprues themselves I've labelled with, just put some tape on there, let us see. It's much easier to read than the C that's written there. Can't see that at all. So I've got all of those laying in the box, and that's ready to go. So move that away. Going to the instructions now. And we start at the beginning, step 1. So what we need to do first is put together these little thrusters, which go on the side in here. Just going to check on the hull itself. So this is where they go. And I'll just have to take them off the sprue. Now, the thing with this is the premium instructions for the photo etch actually show there's a couple of little covers like grills that go over there. And I thought, well, how much is that going to let you see? But when you look at the actual photo etch pieces, they're fairly large. You can see that there. So there they are there. So you can see through them quite clearly. So I do need to make sure that the propellers inside there are detailed properly. So yeah, they go on there. Now, what I also noticed, and sorry, trying to get organized, is that they've got 2 of these you make. There's D72 and part D71, which go in, going by the instructions, go in here and here. And then looking quickly ahead at step 2, 3, 4, and 5, it's not telling me that I need to make 2 more to go in that side. And I'm just wondering why we're not doing them all. And it looks like it doesn't tell you. Yeah, I don't see where it tells me to do the other 2. Now let me just take out the sprue and de-sprue, and we'll just make sure that there are enough to do 4 of them. Okay, so I found these 2 pieces. You can see them both just here. And the reason why I thought it was only showing the build one side, it's actually showing there's only one of each here. You can see by the shape of them. See, going by the photo on the instructions, you can't tell that it actually goes through, and they stick out both sides, so they'll sit in there and they'll show through both sides of the hull, and there are only 2 of them. So that's all good. Now what I'm going to do right now is I'll take these off. I'll also take the propellers off, and we'll have a look at the pieces and how we're going to go about painting these, because it looks like the propellers, which are next to it here, need to be painted a different color to the inside of these. So yeah, I see what it is. So the actual color of the hull, the outside color of the hull, is what they want the inside color of these to be. The propellers themselves are either a copper or whatever 0 is. We'll just have a quick look at what 0 is on our paint guide. And it's a brass metallic. Okay, no problem. All right, back in a second. I'll get these off. Okay, welcome back, guys. So I've taken these off. I've cleaned them up. There's really not much to clean up on them at all. There was The props themselves, just where they were cut off, the sprue and the little nubs that were there, I just cut them off and then sanded them with a little tiny little bit of paper like that. It's fine. So how these work is that they do go in a certain direction. So let me just bring the hull over here for a second and we'll have a look. Okay, so that's where they're going to go into here. Now, there's a little piece, a nub there where the propeller is going to sit on, and that's probably easy to show on the smaller one first. So that's going to go and sit in there like that, pretty simple. And then it's not going to stay there at the moment, and then this, with that one facing towards me, will just sit down in there. Simple. And this one the same thing, with the propeller again facing this direction, is just going to sit down in there. And there's little locating points in there, so you can't go wrong, and they sit in there quite firmly. They will get glued in, of course. Now that means that on this side you'll see there, and there'll be obviously the propellers in there, but the propellers are only on one side, on this side. The other side, there is none. So I guess that's just the way they work. Yeah, but they're only on this side. Now there's also photo etch to sit on the outside of here. So these will need to be installed after the hull has been painted, because obviously the inside of here needs to be done the same color as the hull, and these need to be done silver or copper, whichever I work out they're going to be done. So they'll be attached, so, and then they'll be put in after all that's been painted. The mesh will be able to go on there, the photo etch mesh will be able to go on, that's no problem, because they could get painted over. But yeah, I've got to keep the paint off the props. Also, we'll have a look at the instructions here. So that's these parts here to go in here. Now, in step 2, we've got 2 more propellers, which will need to be painted the same color as these. And then there's another one propeller at the very back in step 3. It is also the same color. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to take off all these pieces off the sprue, including the shafts and the mounts, which I think are all in one piece anyway. I'll take these all off the sprue, and then I will take off all of these pieces off, and that way I'll be able to paint up all the props separately, have them all painted up, and then the hull can be painted. These here are the same color as the hull, so that they can actually be put on before the hull's painted. From what I can tell, the rudders, there's rudders on the back as well. They are all also the color of the hull. So it looks like they can all be attached before the hull's sprayed. So once all that's done, then I can come along and put the props on last. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about that. The only thing to do with the photo etch is just the covers on here, which is no problem at all. I can put those on at any time because they will be the same color as the hull. All right, so I'll start taking those pieces off the sprue and getting them all cleaned up and ready, and we'll come back again. Okay, back again shortly. One more thing you may have noticed is my new little hobby knife here. I've progressed away from this thing and moved to one of these. Now, I ordered this from ickysticky.com.au. This is there they are there. And obviously I got the pen as well. I ordered this with some blades and a couple other things, and they actually sent me a complimentary pack of a few other things to try out, which I'll be doing throughout this build. So I'm not saying right now that all this stuff is great, but I'll be using the this through the build, and I've also got activator, got some CA glues, we've got some medium CA, thin CA, debonder. I also ordered some brushes, which I needed as well, some small parts. There's also, for the glue, they've given me some of the flexi tip extenders. That'll help applying some of this into some small spots, particularly with photo etch. And of course there's the knives. There's 2 knives in there with plenty of blades to keep me going, so looking forward to using those. And also some files as well. These some diamond files. I really needed these to get into some small spots, and there's quite a variety of different shapes there. So I'll be using all of this throughout the build. Pretty confident it'll go well. It's amazing. They're really good when it comes to their website and ordering. I got these products within 48 hours that they were in my hand at the post office box, at the post office. So fantastic. Thank you very much for these. And I'll put the link down in the description to the website. And yeah. All right. Like I said, back very shortly. Hey, welcome back again. I'm getting the pieces off gradually, and I just got to the part where they want me to take off the anchor, F70. And I'm looking at this thing and I'm thinking, oh God, look at that. No detail at all. Looks like a stingray's been hooked. And that goes in the end of here. And I was thinking, oh, well, maybe if I paint it up properly, and maybe I could attach a bit of chain to it, because there is actually a hole in there. So you can see the hole there. And maybe just have it hanging in there. Might make it look a bit better. But then I went and had a look at the actual ship, and I'll put a quick picture up in the corner there. And as you can see, you can hardly see that anchor at all. So when I do actually place this down where it goes in the bottom of there, yeah, it won't be noticeable. So I'll let that go as it is. It's got to be coloured, painted an iron colour. So after the weathering stuff here, I can get that looking reasonably all right. You really won't see it, barely see it anyway. Right, so I will continue on and take off the pieces. These are all the parts in step 2 now. And as you can see, I'm putting them in a container. So we've got step 1 parts. This will be step 2. Step 2 parts will be able to, other than these shafts here, will be able to go straight on. I haven't even checked yet. Let me just have a look at this. So they can be painted with the rest of the ship, and they're going to go on something like that. So they'll be fine. And now I'm going to take off the rear rudders and the rear propeller there. And there's another section in there too. I'm not sure what part that is. It connects in here. That are all going to be, other than the propeller, the same hull red that I choose. So I'll go ahead and take those parts off, and probably need another box, little container, but we'll see how we go. Okay, back again. Sec. Okay, welcome back. So I've got all these pieces all cleaned up and they're ready to glue on. I've test fitted everything, so the shafts which go in here, yep, perfect, no problem at all. Got these little rudders that go on here, and this part, this one here, will sit on the back there. So that's all ready to go, and then we'll put that in. Of everything but the propellers, which we've done separately. So I'm going to go and pull this on. I might mention too that as for the rest of the hull, don't need to touch it. There's no seam marks, there's no sinkholes, there's nothing needs touching on that at all. So that's fantastic. It's ready to put the primer straight on. So I'm going to put these. Now normally I wouldn't normally put these on right now. I'd leave these for a while. But because they're the same colour as the hull, that's fine. The only thing is I've got to be careful. I don't want to knock these off during the rest of the build, but I have gone through the instructions, and on the next page you'll see that there's the stand actually comes out, and we can mount this on the stand to work on the rest of it, so that will protect any of this from getting knocked off. Having said that, time will tell, won't it? All right, so I'll glue all these pieces on now, and we'll come back and have a look at probably the photo etch that I need to attach onto the front holes here, and I'll get that off. We'll get that off the sprue and have a look at that. Okay, back again a sec. Okay, welcome back. So we've got it on the stand now. There's the two pieces I took off. Now they're handy, although not the most stable, but anyway. So we've got the mesh grills in the bottom there, as you can see them through there. You better look at them that way. There they are. There's the mesh. So they're glued in. Then you go down here, we've got all the props, all the propeller shafts on. We've got these rudders on, this one. So they're all glued on. And basically it's all ready for a primer coat. Now for a primer, you just grab that, I'll show you what I'm going to use. Okay, so I'll be using the Mr. Finishing Surfer 1500 white. This is already thinned, so it's all ready to go. So I'll give that a coat of this, as well as the props. I might as well give them a squirt as well. And I'm also thinking about priming. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but there's these two sections here that run the whole length of the boat almost, that go down the side. They actually sit from right on the bow, and they form this area all the way down here. They look like, just grab and show you here, that's them there. Now I was thinking of attaching them first, but then I realized that this section along here and here is a different color, so they need to be masked off. So I'll be attaching them after the hull is sprayed. That shouldn't be a problem. But I may as well prime them up as well, since I've got the paint in the airbrush and ready to go. There's no reason why I shouldn't be priming them, although I've just thought these portholes here may need photo etch. So I might put some photo etch on there. Let's have a quick look on this one. See what we got. And from what I can tell already, I can see that, yeah, there's a couple little bits of photo etch there. Oh no, that's on the superstructure, I think. Yeah, no, here. Here's where I'm looking. No, don't see any photo etch. There's the piece on there. It's not showing any photo etch on it. So that could be good. That's good. All right, that's good. Okay, so I'll go and prime this all up, including those other pieces. I'll take them off the sprue and clean them up, and we'll come back and have a look. It won't look too much difference. It'll be a white primer, but anyway, I'll be back shortly. Okay, hello everybody, welcome back. So here's our hull all primed up, and really nice coat went on there. There's our photo etched pieces in place, also primed up. Now, I know that I mentioned that I was going to do these as well, and I checked to see if there was any photo etch to go on there. Well, I made a big mistake. There's a lot of photo etch to go on there. So basically, on the inside of here, all that has to come off. All that in there is going to be replaced by photo etch. I found it all here. So it starts on number 1 here, and we go down through. Let me just move my ship out of the way, and we'll bring the camera down a little bit closer. Okay, that's better. So it's basically right up on the bow is where we're talking. There's this piece here, which is represented here. It shows that there's a little corner needs to be cut off and straightened on there. That'll be simple. Then we go down and we got all this ribbing on the inside of these. All that has to be removed. Sorry about the glare. There we go. Also, that needs to be cut off, which is this part here. Literally cut that completely off, because this center section in here, which will be like that, is going to be replaced with, down here, this sheet of photo etch, which I'm a little bit worried about, because photo etch is going to be a lot thinner than the actual plastic. I'm going to have to work out how to do that. Now, once all that's off, we have these patterns here for the left and right side, and that's for in here. So this part down in here is going to have all of that on there. You can see that. Yep. And I'm actually looking at that upside down. Let's look at the right one. Yeah. So there it is there. So we put all this photo etch together and then put it all as one piece onto the plastic. So there's all our pieces. There's probably about 20 pieces of photo etch in that. And then there it is on there, including a few other little bits on there as well. This is why I can't paint this yet. I'll have to wait till I've done this. Then we go down to here. This is all step 1, all the way down. We got this part here where we got to put this together, and that all goes together as one piece, and then we put it, there they are, there, the two on the deck, and they will be put up against here, which on our model is where we took all that off. See that better up there. So that's all going to go and replace all the molding on there. So all those bits onto there. Then there's a few other little pieces going in there on this side. Basically covers that whole section. Of course, then it goes down to step 2 is the brass on there. But going back a step, I noticed further on, just got to check this, that there is actually another piece, and I will find it somewhere. But then there is another piece of photo etch that sits all the way around that bow. Can't find it at the moment. Again, back in a sec, I'll get myself sorted here. Okay, so it was here in the first place, but it's just very hard to notice. So see that piece on the bottom there? Well, that is a piece of photo etch, that full length there. And if you not look carefully, you think, oh, that's just on the deck, but it's not. It's a piece of photo etch, and there's two little arrows there pointing to here, and it sits all the way across the top. And then there'll be another one on the other side. So it's going to sit all the way along here. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff before I can paint this. So, and that's probably the next thing I'll need to start working on, is removing all this raised detail in here, and putting all that photo etch together to go in place, and positioning it too before I put it on, which means I'll probably have to just temporarily put the deck down there so that I know that when all that's on there, it's going to sit in there okay. So yes, the fun begins, but that will be in part 2. And also in part 2 will be, I'll paint up the propellers, get them done, and I'll figure out the color I want to do the hull. I'm sort of looking at a mixture of adding the normal hull red of Tamiya and mixing it with some normal red just to brighten it up a little bit brighter, because the normal hull red is a bit brownish, dull. So I'll add some brightness to it. So once I know the color I'm going to do the hull, I'll paint the inside of this, and then I can fit the propellers straight into there, and that will finish those steps off. And depending on the progress, we might even get that hull at least taped up to get painted, or maybe painted. But anyway, that's all in part 2. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notifications bell so you get notified of the videos as they come out. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video, and please comment down below. I like reading your comments, and if you've got any information, any questions, anything at all, just put it down in the comments there. And I'll see you all in part 2 of the Revell search and rescue vessel. Okay, bye for now.